they've done a study, and it was on race relations. How do you think race relations are going right now?
Oh, never been better?
Never been better.
Yeah, that's my vote.
Is that your perception as well,
It's not
Jeffy?
my perception. It's never been better, no.
Weird.
It's not my perception.
According to this article, American race relations are in a bad place. Huh.
Really?
Who saw that coming?
How'd that happen?
I don't know.
I will say overall, it feels that way. But
It does.
when I'm one-on-one,
Yeah, exactly.
it's a different
Yes.
world.
Yes.
That's true, which is kind of the point of this article.
Oh, there you
Our
go.
perception is it's really bad. The statistics, though, show it's the best it's ever been.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting. I don't know that I'd say it was the best. Yes, it is.
Apparently, back in 2012, only 30% of black Americans thought contemporary racism was, quote, a primary detriment to success. Okay? So, blacks, only 30% of blacks believed that you had a hard time, doing anything or getting ahead in
Right.
society because you were black. Just 30% thought that. Now, 68%
Perception.
feel that way.
Man.
And they're not alone. A major recent poll of Asian Americans found that just 31% of Asian Americans between 35 and 54 feel like they belong and are accepted in the U.S. And just 27% of those 25 to 34. An amazing 81% of Asian Americans between 18 and 24 don't feel they belong and are accepted in America, even though that group is the wealthiest and least disliked large group in the United States. That's really something. They're doing well. I mean, Asians own a lot of businesses. I mean, the stats show it. They do well in education. I'll never forget my daughter's graduation ceremony in Houston years ago. In the program or whatever it is they hand out as you go in, showed the top 10 in the class. Every single one of them was Asian American.
Yeah, but they don't belong.
All of them. But they don't belong. And they're not doing well. So anyway, national data on race relations shows that same troubling trend. In 2001, the proportion of American adults describing relations between large racial ethnic groups as good. 70% among blacks, 62% among whites. In 2021, it was 33% of blacks. So it went from 70 to 33 thinking race relations were good. And it went from 62% among whites to 43%.
What could have happened to drive that division?
Isn't that interesting?
What could have happened?
I mean, after all, we had a black president for 8 years. So it should be better, right?
Definitely should be better, except that it's not because they weren't.
Right.
And I say they because Michelle and Barack both drove a hammer.
They sure
in our
did.
race relations.
Yes, they did. And Biden has accentuated all of that. Now, in a comprehensive 2021 paper called The Social Construction of Racism,
Oh, this sounds good.
the Manhattan Institute's Eric Kaufman makes the point that less than 10% of Americans currently score as bigots when tested.
Thank you.
10%.
Less.
The percentage of Americans who believe blacks shouldn't push themselves where they're not wanted, or that it's acceptable to discriminate when selling a family home, are around 9 or 10% as well. 7 to 9% of white Americans would refuse, only 7 to 9 would refuse to vote for a qualified same party candidate who is black or Hispanic. Isn't that amazing? 7%.
Because we don't. It doesn't
Right, we
matter.
don't
We want the
care.
best people. This is America. The best people for the job.
Yeah, but governments thrive on power. Mm-hmm. And how do you get power but separate the people? In other words, you tell them that there's an issue, and that the only way to solve that issue is to give more power to the government. So they continually find ways to divide us, whether it's on
They've done
race,
that really well.
Right.
Yes, they have.
It could be on income inequality. It could be on gender stuff. It could be on this race stuff. They've got to keep us in a constant state of division so that they, therefore, can say, look, we're the answer to your problems. We're going to solve this, even where no problems exist.
Well, that's why
Exactly.
we voted for Joe Biden, for the unity.
That's right.
Yeah. He was going to unify the country, wasn't he? Yeah, good job. Good job on that, Joe. It's been great.
He unified other countries against us.
Yes, he
China,
sure did.
Russia.
He did do that.
He sure did.
Yeah, we didn't
Arabia.
know that was what he meant at the time, but we've seen it become reality anyway. So, one more stat. It's fairly interesting. 7 to 9% of Americans would refuse to vote for a qualified candidate who was black or Hispanic. However, 19% would not work for a practicing Mormon.
Wow.
That's awesome. Oh, man.
Isn't that's a good word for
That
it?
is
Awesome.
That is
Isn't
awesome.
that something?
I mean, I don't blame him.
Hold on.
I don't
Well,
blame
how
him.
could you? How could
That's
you?
what
blame him?
that's what I'm saying.
You know?
Hold on a second. Can we go back for just one moment where you talked about
That's ridiculous.
7%, you said, wouldn't...
Would refuse to vote for a qualified same-party candidate who is black or Hispanic.
Okay, I want to know that stat given to blacks, say. I want that in reverse. I want to
Yeah,
hear
I'd
that
like to see
answer
that too.
for whites.
Yeah.
Would you vote for a qualified candidate that was white?
Well,
Why is this question only asked of whites then?
Well, because you can only be racist if you're white.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay.
I got it now.
The power dynamic, Keith.
And thank you. And
Yeah.
there's plenty of white people in office that have been voted in. So black people must be voting for them as well. So get over it. Black people will vote for white people.
And so 19% of Americans
would
won't
never-
vote for or won't work for a Mormon.
A practicing Mormon.
Right, a practicing.
Practicing
What a
Mormon.
strange question.
If you're a Mormon who hasn't been to church in 10 years, I guess that they're fine with that. But don't be a practicing
you-
one.
Did they ask that of all faiths?
You were born in Utah?
That's a weird question.
Isn't it? It's really
That
weird.
is-
And that
really
one,
weird
that one
question.
seems oddly micro-focused
Yes.
for,
does.
say, our employer.
I mean, Mormons
what
take
kind
a
of question
beating.
is that?
Mormons take a
Weird.
beating, man.
Oh, no kidding. Yes.
I mean,
Yeah. We take a licking
I mean-
and keep on ticking. So,
just saying.
just saying. What was it, 1976 or 77?
Oh, here
the
we go.
Missouri
Here
finally.
we go.
the Missouri
It's
law.
always a stupid Missouri,
Missouri.
law.
Yeah.
Finally.
Every Mormon pulls out the Missouri law. How many? They weren't killing people.
That's not true.
Just because the
Only
law.
Pat brings that one out. Are you kidding me?
No.
You've heard that,
That is
other-
a talking
Well,
point.
now you know why. 19% wouldn't vote or work for a practicing Mormon.
Did they ask white
You'd be a little defensive, too, under those circumstances.
That's amazing to me that people would
It is. It's
actually
incredible.
think that.
It's incredible.
Obviously, I don't want anybody to die, but it would have been interesting if there had been a murder in like 1975 and then that law was tested.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
But there wasn't, though, was it?
I don't know.
Yeah, we-
I don't.
We don't know.
We're going to have to do a little research and see. I know in the
When's
1800s.
the last time?
It was
The
definitely
last
in
time.
the 1800s, perhaps.
Okay.
But the last time, I don't know. I don't know. How many people were aware of that law? It's okay to exterminate a Mormon if you want. You know? If you want.
Yeah, there's a qualifier.
Go
there.
ahead.
They just murdered that guy who's a Mormon. Got
Now,
me.
if you do it accidentally, you didn't want to, then you're in trouble. Then it's like manslaughter or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's if you-
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I'm
gotta-
so glad we're on the other side of 1976
Yeah,
at
me
this
too.
point.
Me too. So incredible.